Hello. So, let's talk about Honkai Star Rail. I am Bujo1. I am a professional dungeon master, and I really want to talk about Honkai Star Rail's 2.0 release and how good it is. A few of the writing uh, kind of plot devices, narrative devices that they use um, really kind of complement their overall writing style, as well as different things. I'm just going to kind of go around. Again, uh, I'm currently right now in between jobs, so I'm more or less uh, editing and doing videos and stuff like that. Kind of scatterbrained. Like recently, my mic just fucking broke, so apologies. Um, I just really want to post this, get everything out. Then later, I'll probably go back, edit it, break it up, maybe. But let's talk about one of the major writing things about Penacony. There will be spoilers, heavy spoilers. Also, a little bit of a warning, there is a lot of topics that aren't nice. A lot of dark and depressing feelings are ahead, and I have a feeling it's only going to get worse, so heads up. If you do like what you hear, please subscribe. I have a Twitch, Bujo1. Um, I don't know if I'm deciding to stream on YouTube or Twitch, kind of going back and forth. Anyways, do the thing. Um, but yeah, so let's get into it. So in all of the Hoyoverse games, they usually have a few broad similar themes. A lot of it is corruption versus, I guess, normality, uh, order versus chaos. This one is a weird one though. This one is dreams versus reality as kind of that duality. And then they play heavily on inversion of expectations. Now, let me kind of explain. Hoyo in general does a lot of inversions of expectations. Originally, when you hear things, there's kind of these implicit ideas that are given. Like if I say a goddess of life, you don't think of what Yaosha is. For those that don't know, Yaosha is the aeon of or aeon of abundance, which is like the aeon of life unbridled. However, you don't really associate necromancy and like completely overriding and like turning them into abominations. Like you don't usually associate that with usually a god or godlike figure, a deity of life. That doesn't usually happen. But it's such a cool inversion, and it only gets better the more you progress throughout all of Honkai Star Rail. Now, I haven't played Honkai Impact the Third. I have played a lot of Genshin, and I have played Star Rail. So, let's talk about the main inversion, which is the inversion of happiness and festivities versus grief and sadness, rage and anger, and a bunch of others. So, we are introduced as to Penacony as the land of dreams. To quote Black Swan, it is a land of where dreams meet nightmares, and what a perfect cradle for the remembrance. So, this is a big one because throughout all of it, all the side quests, we learn multiple different things. But first, I want to talk about Firefly and that whole fiasco. Not fiasco, but I feel like in Honkai Star Rail, we were kind of. Death in Honkai Star Rail hasn't been treated serious like it is in Honkai Impact, where, oh, they're killed, they're definitely dead. Throughout all of Honkai Star Rail, and kind of the same with Genshin Impact, is death has been very much not been taken seriously. I mean, just take a look at what happened with Dan Hung and the MC. We should have been dead twice over as MC with the Annihilator Beast kind of triggering the Celeron if it wasn't for Welt. We also got fucking lanced in the chest. So yeah, that was a thing. Then Dan Hung got a sword imbued with Mara thrown through his heart, and he came out of it just peachy. Yeah, we we were lucky that uh, Death, as well as like they even came out and said that Tin Yung, who should have, if they were going to do it, just kill her off. Like, why would you just come out and say, you know, my whole idea with Tin Yung drama is that they did learn from it because we got Firefly. And Firefly is, I think, what they tried to do with Ten Yun. It's just that they just weren't successful in making Ten Yun that likable. Like, she was likable, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, she wasn't as likable as Firefly. Um, but yeah. Um, God, my mind is everywhere. Sorry. So, the inversion and the kind of light treated of death made a lot of us, I guess, surprise because I truly think that Firefly is dead. 100%. A matter of fact, this is a little bit of my theory, is that Firefly was already dead when we met her. We learned through the side quests that Penacony is not only a land of dreams, but of memories as well. There is... Also, let me see if I can't pull up a thing to show you. I need to go to Penacony, because I need visual aids. Alright. Boom, boom. Is that it? Nope, nope. Alright, here we go. So, let's talk about some of the side quests and why I think A, I truly think that Firefly is dead, but I also think that something weird is going on, man. So first off, we have the following. Now I haven't done these two quests yet, but I have done the others. And man, oh man, does it not get lighter, except for I think one person. This one I forgot completely about, but this one has a happy ending, but is depressing all the way through. Um, yeah. So in Penacony, we learn that not only are there people trying to escape their past, go figure. I think there was a wise man that once said, uh, people who run from their past, uh, fuck, what was the quote? People who run away often run away from something bad or something bad that they have done, I believe is the quote. Don't know where it's from. Just gonna have to. My piece of advice, I guess, not advice, but my word of wisdom. Anyways, we learned that a lot of Penacony, and from Firefly herself, saying that a lot of these weirdos, her phrasing of it, have a lot of issues, and that they're all strange and they all come to Penacony because they are running away. Now, Firefly was running away from her disease and how it often kind of disrupted her daily life, stuff like that. I think she was already dead. And the reason why I say that is because of this guy right here. This man, uh, not these two, but these two. This is a galactic superstar movie star who ended up perishing in a giant like spaceship crash, I think, or what? I, no, he was attacked maybe by the swarm, and the ship blew up. And however, as you can see, he is still alive. Why is that? Well, it's because enough people came together with their memories to form a memory bubble and were able to actually submerge the memory bubble in that like weird bath thing that or were able to create a kind of facsimile of him inside of the dream because they really wanted to see him and because they were this guy's adoring fans. So his whole quest is about you having to go through and telling him that, hey, this is dead, it's very unhealthy, move on. And the more you did that, the more he kind of like winced in pain, eventually ended up fading. Firefly, I think, was a little bit different. I think Firefly's body may be cryogenically frozen somewhere, completely. So when that's why she didn't actually leave the dreamscape is because she can't, both physically and mentally. So maybe she's all right, maybe not. But I really do think she ended up dying because I think she actually succumbed to what she had, and I think she died while inside of Penacony, which is why she kind of had her autonomy still. Because here's the thing: Robin dies, and we know Robin at least has a physical body. So I'm curious of what does the physical body of Robin currently look like? Because we saw that through the dream that she got stabbed through the chest. I'm assuming it was by the meme something onto death. I'm not sure. But another thing that it could be, and another theory that I don't believe in, but I could see how people can draw to it. I read somewhere. Again, I'm sorry if this is a bad theory that Firefly was like a part of March 17th's old life, just given form. And the thing is that while that seems a little bit crazy, it kind of makes sense because she was inside of a icy coffin. March was found in a block of ice. Um, strange ice, that is. Also, this guy. This guy is Calderon Chadwick, I believe his name. He was a scientist and a member of the Genius Society, and you actually get to meet Herta and Skrullum and learn a little bit more about them. But he is like the Oppenheimer of like Honkai Star Rail. He created this giant, um, like fuck off megastructure laser that was able to blow up, I think, multiple systems at once. It's like the imaginary pulse something destroyer, um, which the after he did, I think he sabotaged it, um, and the IPC is currently trying to relearn how to build it. However, he took a drug that pretty much prevented him to do any type of research on the stuff that he knew, as well as made him forget everything he knew, pretty much making him into pretty much making him forget his whole life's work, as well as he couldn't reattain and lacked the ability to learn the things that he did have or did know. He ends up the IPC ends up finding him, or at least like his dead body. But before they didn't let him pass on per se, And now all throughout all the Hoyoverse, memories and a person's like soul are kind of intertwined. And usually they say that like at least in Genshin, a person's memories is kind of like the energy of the soul type of deal. I think it's like Yana energy or some shit like that. I don't know. I'm a little rough on Genshin lore. Um, but they were able to pretty much um, extract his memory bubbles and keep them, and then they worked out a deal with the family to where they kept him alive under a guard of the Bloodhound family, uh, so that they could try to extract the information from the memories without having him dissipate. So you go to the planet. You actually have to call in Screwlum, and you have to make him remember his past. Then with Screwlum, you help him pretty much gather his memory bubble, take it back to her to space station. Touching moment. Uh, but he ends up giving the plans to that giant doomsday weapon to Herta, so that at the very least there can be a deterrence. This is kind of like the idea behind of like what I think behind the spies that gave away um, the nuclear weapons like blueprint and schematic and the whole idea to Russia or the Soviet Union at the time, so that two people with nukes they 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 don't try to vie for world dominance, kind of like a check and balance. You don't use these, I don't use these. Anyways, moving on from that. But because they were able to extract the memory and more or less able to take a dead person's remembrance and create another facsimile of them inside of Penacony, it very much means that there are probably people in Penacony who shouldn't be there. It is why death is coming and why I think death, out of everyone to attack, attacked Firefly. Because she either A, no longer had a physical body or something. Maybe she knew something that she didn't need to know, but my theory is that her body was either A, beyond the point of saving, and so they just uploaded her to Penacony as kind of like a because we have no idea if Firefly has a body or not, and she's a stowaway, which means that she could be on the like weird ring disc world of Penacony, or she can be completely somewhere else, just nearby. Uh, but she we don't know if she actually has a body. Again, I think that the disease actually took away her body and her body's no more, and that she's kind of like a memory that was extracted and uploaded into Penacony, pretty much. So all of Penacony, you do not know what is a lie, what is real. You don't know if not only is there that political intrigue of are you lying to me or are you trying to manipulate me, but there's also that play of hey, is this person actually a real thing? Because in dreams, we come up with a bunch of facsimiles and it's at least my dreams are like kind of like whole narrative stories and stuff like that where other people do have autonomy, I guess, in my dream. If you, again, it's kind of a weird thing to talk about or say, but like if I dream of someone, they are going to act in accordance to how I think they are going to act, kind of, if that makes sense. Again, overall, it's kind of difficult to explain. So, moving on. I also think that she is either dead or at the very least, it's going to be. I don't. If she isn't dead and they do bring her back, which I think would hurt the idea of killing off people in the future, to be honest. I think for the overall narrative health, she should remain dead. Um, Main reason why is because, again, if you constantly use death as a narrative device and then write out that they, you know, had plot armor or, you know, if you keep making excuses that there isn't, like, death isn't that serious, it's going to hurt when you actually want there to be stakes on the line. Um, let's actually talk about Firefly's character for a second. So Firefly is quite literally designed to be one of the most likable NPCs of all time. Um, you are meant to like her. She literally takes your hand and like takes you a night on the town. You go and gamble, have fun. Sampo comes around and stuff like that. She like pays for your meal. She thanks you. She heard about the Nameless. She, again, talks to you about the Nameless and um, how she like admires you because you travel amongst stars and how cool it must be. Um, and I was watching Tectone actually about how he wanted other people to join the uh, what you call it, the Astral Express. I do too, and I really think side tangent. I really think that they kind of should have done. Falls played the companion quest for Serval. Uh, it was like leaning heavily that Serval was actually going to join the Astral Express, and that's cool. That means we get a second engineer. That means if Himiko gets injured or dies, which might happen, who knows? Um, that we would at least have, another engineer on board. But at the very end, she changes her mind because you fight like Coleus Fragmentum. Yeah. Anyways, little side tangent. They should be trying to add more people to the Astral Express, and I think it would really be nice and be a great kind of interlude arc. Maybe after Pentacony's like the main quest is done, I think that would be a great arc. Is like as repayment for what you have done, we get like turns out that maybe one of the because I do remember that Aha blew up the Astral Express, sending a like blew the Astral Express in half. Maybe we recovered like a train car or something like that, and we asked them to like repair it and attach it to the Astral Express. I don't know, many ideas. And again, this is mostly just unhinged rambling, so my apologies. Uh, yeah, again, I really think that Firefly is dead. I hope they don't bring her back and lessen it. Granted, if they do bring her back, I'm still going to be happy. I'm not going to be like, oh, they didn't leave her dead. I am going to be happy if they bring her back. Firefly was an awesome character, and I think that they have written a few characters that actually are genuinely likable. Um, don't get me wrong. There are some characters that people do like and gravitate towards. Like a good example is a lot of people like Gwen. To me, I'm very indifferent towards Gwen. I'm very um, she just doesn't do it for me, I guess, or like she just is. Um, However, Firefly was an actual character that I liked. She had depth to, um, and would have been really interesting to see her. It also would have been, uh, I think it just would have been interesting. Another thing that this is a bit more of a critique is I don't like how, I guess maybe the Ian voice direction where it sounds like March is just constantly yelling. I don't know why they did her like that. Like, she can talk normally. She doesn't have to be like spunky yelling all the time. It's just like grating. Like at first it was like charming, and then I was like, that's not that's much. But then it's like it gets to the point where it's like, okay, why are you yelling secrets? Again, I don't know what that was. It's just uh, she was just. I think they could have written her just a tad bit better. Um, Another big thing. I don't think Himiko is going to die. I think Himiko actually has plot armor, and if they kill Himiko, there's going to be a few plot holes. Uh, Chief among them is who in the world is going to navigate the Astral Express. As much as um, I know that Tectone wants her to die, but as much as anyone who does want Himiko to die, I don't think that's going to happen. Um, Because again, who else knows how to navigate the Astral Express? It's definitely not our character. It's definitely not Dan Heng. Dan Heng manages the archives and serves as its bodyguard. Welt is a passenger and sort of mostly oversees, I guess, the ground team. I think he is tied with MC for most ground team expeditions. He's also just very powerful. Um, though I was listening to Braxphone talk about how he thinks Welt is going to die, which I think is very possible. Actually, very possible. I think I think it would be really cool if we get to kill one of the characters that are at Penacony. Um, for instance, I hate Sparkle with a passion. Main reason why she's probably the main reason why Firefly's dead. She was the one that sent you guys the first time to the other dreamscape, the child's dream, I believe it's called. Then, uh, which caused you to meet the meme something onto death, uh, which then allowed you to meet Black Swan. But to be honest, she's two-faced bitch. Uh, but uh, Sparkle then was kind of responsible because if Firefly didn't have a body, or if she was stubborn enough, like Black Swan said, stubborn enough and didn't actually leave and stayed there and just kind of went in but then stayed into that particular dreamscape, she is low key responsible for Firefly's death. I think it would be cool if like our character has like a moment where at first it was, bear in mind our character is only several months old. While he does have the maturity of a teenager, he's probably extremely naive. They are extremely naive because literally, much like March, they were like born the other day. On top of that, they never really had to deal with loss on a personal level. Like, if you really think about it, our character has seen death, but hasn't really had anyone sort of close to him die. And this is kind of like the first time. Then, on top of that heaviness, he then gets slammed with Robin's death, and then if you did the side quests, which I guess on the overall timeline happened like before you met Firefly, like while you were just exploring around when you've just arrived in Penacony. I think that's like the timeline, or I don't know. It's kind of weird. Um, but now you get slammed down with Robin's death. Now, Robin, you didn't know that intimately, but one thing you did know about her was that she was kind to you and that she seemed like a gentle person. Um, Again, you didn't really know her personally, but she did treat you with kindness, and she was very understanding and empathetic, and was it. She ticked off all the marks for being a likable character, and now you get slammed with her death. On top of it, this is just after you learn that Black Swan betrayed you for more or less a. You learn that Black Swan is now in bed with Aventurine and all of the IPC because the IPC in control means that they've worked out a deal. I'm guessing when the IPC takes over Penacony, that the Memento Keepers, uh, they'll open up more to more systems and stuff, which means more people, which means more memories for the Memento Keepers, Memo Keepers, whatever the fuck they're called, which is what they want because that's kind of the remembrances. I don't know, remembrance is very weird. But yeah, there is that. Um, I wish I looked up videos of the quote unquote second ending, and I'm going to be honest, not a fan of the second. For all those who don't know, at the end of Penacony 2.0, you can either go with Aventurine, or if you turn around, she will open up a way to turn around and go back. But if you do, it just does the black wall and the text. I wish they would have given you an option that was kind of the in between where you totally did not, because I don't want to work with Aventurian and Black Swan. To me, like in my character's head, the only person that, to again, this is my interpretation of it, the only person who's really trustworthy is Acheron. And Acheron's apparently an emanator. Granted, she didn't say it, but like that's kind of like her business. It's also one of the reasons why she couldn't draw her sword, is because if she is in fact a emanator of Lon, who is kind of like the Grim Reaper in this universe, the natural Grim Reaper, not Nook is just wanting everything to turn to oblivion. Um, Ix or Nine, however the fuck you say that name, the Aeon of Annihility is just wants everything to go away because it's all meaningless. What's the point? He's literally depression incarnate. Which, by the way, I think actually at the center of Penacony, I think that we are actually going to meet um, an emanator of nihility, or that maybe Acheron is an emanator of nihility. It's definitely possible, mostly because of this. Do you guys see how, like, now it's hazy, which means it could be Memoria, or it could be that the presence of nihility is actually strong. And because if you look at the simulated universe picture of uh, X9, whatever the fuck his name is, I think it's 9. I think it's Roman numerals. Um, it's like a picture of a like black hole with a frowny face. Um, this is kind of reminiscent of that, but this could be very much the remembrance and yeah. Anyways, um, what I'm looking forward to the future is I'm hoping that we get to work with Loki, Robin, and Acheron. Actually choosing a side, me personally, I'll probably side with Acheron all the way. Um, if possible, I want to kill Sparkle. That would be amazing. Um, oh, so another thing. I think March is. This would be a pretty good time for March to get her power up. But at the very same time, I don't think she is. I think they're going to wait for like her specific planet in order to like rebuff her or give her the Dan Heng treatment. Um, I think this is going to be another MC upgrade. In particular, I think it might be either Nihility MC or the Hunt MC. There, you can make a argument for abundance if you speak out to Yaosha in order to try to resurrect Firefly. Um, the biggest thing is that I don't think they're like what would a path of remembrance be? 'Cause we could see a emergence of a new playable path, but at the same time, I seriously doubt it. Um, Acheron, I definitely think is probably of the hunt because if you actually look closer at the subtitled dialogue of when Firefly just dies, um, there is the hunt with a capital T and a capital H. That refers to Lon specifically, or the path of the hunt. Um, so I actually think that she's the hunt. Um, I think she is. I hope she isn't Quantum, because then she would literally be Sela 2.0. Feels bad, man. Um, I think she could be a Lightning Hunt, which would be an interesting character. Um, but yeah, I think that either A, we are going to go on the path of vengeance, which is Lan the Hunt, and uh, the reason why I don't think we're going to see a Path of Harmony MC right now, just because they've already introduced like 3 Harmony characters already, um, with Hanya, which I so wanted. Then right after Hanya, they introduced Ruan Mei. Then after Ruan Mei, they're going to introduce Sparkle, as all those are Harmony. And we already have other Harmony units such as Baronia and Asta, which you get for free. Um, is there any other Harmony units? My memory's blanking if there is, but that's a lot of Harmony units. Um, that's the main reason why I also think that we are going to have to go and hunt down the Watchman's Legacy or Watchkeeper's Legacy, and we might get a choice of whether or not to end the Dream of Penacony. I doubt that we are going to end the Dream of Penacony because the whole idea of the Trailblaze is to connect, um, like quote unquote, like we're the good guys, and this is kind of the norm for Penacony. Is that wrong? Maybe, but at the same time, like who are we to say? I guess because this is also where Sipe, Shipe, Shipe, Chirpa, the Aeon of Harmony, like this is supposed to be like the main faction that worships them or them. Uh, and so I don't really think we're going to get Harmony. I really think we might get Hunt or possibly Abundance if um if like we undergo and use the power of the Watchkeeper's Legacy to like recreate Firefly. Um, if Black Swan really is on our side, she might actually help us. Um, but yeah, I can see that being a possible quest. But then again, that would involve bringing back Firefly, which again could be an issue for later on. But yeah, anyways, these are kind of my rantings and whatnot. It's already been 40 minutes, so that's probably it for this video. Again, when I find time and stuff, I'm going to actually just uh, get editing and stuff like that uh, when I have time, of course. Anyways, do the subscribe thing if you like any of the things you heard. I know I was kind of all over the place. This is again very unscripted, very kind of improv, just going off of my mind because I just want to post videos and get stuff out there just so that there's something there other than a shitty channel introduction where my mic was just completely being blown out. Sorry about that. I need to fix that. But anyways, that is all. Thank you very much and stay safe out there.